Colon cancer is the third most common cancer in the United States. Yet here in Nebraska, only 62% of our residents over the age of 50 get screened.
That's right. Nebraska has one of the lowest screening rates in the country, but we'd like to improve on that today.
That's right, we sure do. We're going to introduce you today to our guests, Stephen Monroe and Dr. Josh Evans. Good to see both of you.
Good
Thanks
to
for
see you.
Tim, good to see you again.
Yeah, good to see you guys.
For having us. Doctor, thanks for being here. How significant is colorectal cancer in Nebraska? I mean, what are you seeing right now? And I guess nationwide as well.
But it really is a big problem. It's still the second leading cause of cancer-related death. It's only second to lung cancer, actually. So.
Well, that's people don't get checked. That's part of the problem. And if you check too late, sometimes often the symptoms have already set in and it's progressed to a certain point.
Yeah, I mean, really the point that we really need to make here is that colon cancer is actually preventable. And that's really unique because in medicine there's a lot of screening tests out there, like you hear about mammograms for breast cancer or prostate checks for men, but colon cancer is really preventable. And that's really a powerful message. So there are tests out to screen for colon cancer, but colonoscopies can actually prevent the development of cancer by removing polyps. And polyps are precancerous, and that's how typical colon cancers start. And we think that the typical polyp turns into colon cancer over about 7 to 10 years, the small polyps. And there's really no symptoms. That's the thing.
So who should get screened? And get their colonoscopy? When, I mean, we know after 50, but let's talk about that.
Yeah, so without any family history, the typical patient should get screened at age 50, okay? Now, if you have a family history of a first-degree family member, let's say your mom or your sister or your dad had colon cancer at 50, then you should have your first colonoscopy at 40, so 10 years younger than the age of diagnosis.
I did. I had a colonoscopy earlier than this recommended because of a family history. Everything was clean, fortunately, but you have to get that done. Stephen, would you share your story with us?
Yeah, well, I had the idea of 50, and I thought, well, I was 53, so then I went into the doctor and I had to wait, and everything finally got happened at 54, and I was stage 3 by then. And like you said, 7 to 10 years, and the doctor said I probably had cancer at 50, but they caught it, and as long as it was before it got out, but it was just starting to get out. So my timing, and it's all about timing. That's why the polyp is booming, you're gone and you're out, but you're done with that, but you need to just keep coming back. So then I had to go in, I had surgery and I had chemotherapy, and I've been cancer-free for 10 years now.
Congratulations. But you had no symptoms. You had no idea.
No symptoms at all. I just did it because they said you should.
Right.
And I caught cancer. And my little brother had 3 precancerous polyps that he went in since I went in, and he was ready to just explode. But he went in at timing, and his timing went in. He had a colonoscopy, and he was done with it. He didn't go to the hospital.
Now, for people who do have symptoms, what would the symptoms be that there's that there is a problem?
So really, the message is there are no symptoms of colon cancer
at all. So
until it's kind of advanced. So polyps have no symptoms. They turn into early cancers. There's no symptoms. Eventually, you will develop changes in your bowel habits, blood in the stools. And what I see is a real increase in the incidence of colon cancer in younger patients who do have symptoms, and the most common symptom is blood in the stools. And 90% of the time, that's due to internal hemorrhoids, which are totally harmless. But I see that blown off. I just had a patient the other day who, came in with some rectal bleeding. I said, it's probably internal hemorrhoids. She's completely healthy, marathon triathlete. But I said, there's only one way to know. You need a colonoscopy. And she put it off, and finally ended up getting it done. And she had a big precancerous polyp that we were able to basically carve out of the colon, and before it turned into cancer. So, rectal bleeding is something that you should never blow off.
Yeah, no kidding. And then, like you said, sometimes if you do get it's an advanced stage. And then there are still, that's a nice thing, there are still some treatment options. If you're at a more advanced stage, it's not a death sentence, but it is a little bit harder of a battle.
Yeah, it is.
Yeah.
Now, there are it's kind of a self-screening test kit out there, right? To make it easier to get tested. How do you find those? Where can people get them?
So there's a number of sites that we distribute actually free occult blood tests, and those look to detect microscopic amounts of blood in the stool that can mean you have an early cancer or polyps. They can also just be a false positive or just mean you have some internal hemorrhoids or something
and
like
anybody
that.
can pick one up.
Yeah, and there's several sites.
Yeah, there's a list on the website that you can go on, a very easily maneuverable website, the coloncancertaskforce.org, and you go in there and you hit where you can pick them up, and there's a huge list. I printed it out. I have it at my cubicle at work, and it's about this long of all the places. Most of them are Hy-Vee. Anywhere there's a pharmacy, you can probably ask. I just picked up one yesterday. and went to Mystery Land. I don't know where it's, but
Yeah.
but I just went in and asked them. You fill out a form, you pick it up, and it's an envelope about this big, and you just walk in, and it takes you about 2 minutes, and you can pick one up.
Yeah, it is. Colonoscopies are easy as well. I saw Jimmy Kimmel got one on the other
I
night. He
saw
turned
that.
50 years old.
Yeah.
Katie
Yeah.
Couric helped him out with that. But if you
Yeah.
want to donate to the Colon Cancer Task Force, or if they want to get involved, how do they do that? The website's at the bottom of the screen. Anything else they need to do?
Now just go to the website. They can message us through the website, and we really are welcoming new members, and we'd love to have more advocates out there spreading the word.
And it just says, get involved, and it shows like this next Monday we're going to be at Freddy's frozen custard and steak burgers on Monday on 72nd and Military. And if you go in and just tell them you want to donate to colon cancer, they'll take 30% of the bill, and they're going to donate that. And I'll be up there playing.
And you brought your guitar. We didn't have time to get to it
Yeah.
today. But
Yeah, that's okay. That's fine. We got that. We got the Boxer 500 on August 19th, Rolling to Colon on June 17th, and Rhonda's Burpee Challenge April 22nd. Go to the website and find out what that's all about.
Yeah, doing good
Alrighty,
work.
well, I'm
Thanks,
sure we'll
Stephen.
talk to
You
you
bet.
before,
Good to see
especially
you.
roll into the colon. So,
You bet.
all right,
Thanks,
thank
Doctor.
you.
Thanks so much.
On